Welcome to our latest restoration efforts. This is Bulloch Hall. It is just north of Atlanta in a beautiful community by the name of Roswell, Georgia, which is a very old area. Got a lot of old manufacturing stuff up there. Predates the Civil War. Bulloch Hall was built in 1839 for Major James Stephen Bulloch and his wife Martha Stewart Elliott Bulloch. And in 1853, the dining room was the site of the marriage of their youngest daughter, Mittie, to Theodore Roosevelt Sr. And one of their children was Theodore Roosevelt Jr., but we knew him mainly as Teddy Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States. He visited there often in his youth and also after he was elected president. He loved the place. I'd recommend a visit anytime you're in the area. Our work up there came at the request of the Friends of Bulloch. Bob Hagan and his associate Gwen Kohler had us up there. They take responsibility for doing a lot of the work at Bulloch to keep it looking good, and they do a very good job. Our chore was to take some floors that had weathered or finish had deteriorated. I actually put the finish down over 30 years ago. And the pictures that you're seeing are right next to the front door where there was a tremendous amount of foot traffic and weather being tracked in. And as you can see, it had an adverse effect on the old finish, so it needed some TLC. Where the floor had been protected or had something over it, which is what you see there where there's a little more luster, there was a piece of furniture there, it looked to be in pretty good shape. Ironically, the culprit for a lot of the issues was the runner that had been bought and put down to protect the floors from all the foot traffic. When you turn the runner over, there was a latex adhesive bonding agent that was on the back of the runner that helped keep the carpet fibers together and in place. And unfortunately, it dries very hard and it's very rough to the touch. And just by putting on the floor and letting people walk on it, it really removed the old finish. Now that's been mitigated. We have pads that go under all the runners now, so the floors have much better protection. This is the central hallway, and you can see the effects the runner had on the floor. There were other issues too. The thresholds had taken a pounding over the years with all the people, visitors coming and going, and they started looking like it was a great place to pick up a splinter or do damage to your shoe and possibly your foot. There was also some damage between the living room and the dining room where the wood right over the groove section of the tongue and groove had just simply sheared away because of loss of wood. And it just split. And you can see it's the dark piece right there on the left. The lighter piece on the right is the track that the sliding doors would move across. And this is where Jenna Novick, my business partner, plays a big part. She's the one who comes in and does all the repair work. I can't do that, but Jenna can. And just watch what she did. She took a router, took the damaged piece, routed it out, and created a very shallow cavity about 1/4 of an inch thick and maybe about 3/4 of an inch wide. Very neat, very clean, no dust, no debris because everything's hooked up to vacuum systems. Once she got the cavity prepped, then she drops the replacement wood in, which had already been cut, stained, and finished. And it's kind of hard to see, which speaks to her talents for doing this type of repair work. It's very hard to see. But anyway, Jenna does great work. I am very proud of her work in this area. Also, just great to have her as a business partner. She pays attention, and you can see that that narrow strip there, it went in. That's the repair piece, and no sanding was done. It had to be flush, and that's exactly how she got it. Now me, I was tasked with taking that old beaten up threshold and trying to turn it into something that didn't look like you were going to walk away with a jagged splinter in your shoe or possibly your foot. And all I did was take my random orbit sander, put some fine paper on it, and just kept working and working and got it smoothed out. And it turned out pretty good. And when it did, I put some color on it and then put some finish on it, so it blended in very nicely. Now let's go back and look at some of the damaged areas and how they came out. Here we are in the central hallway, and that's the area that the finish had been worn away by the backing on the runner. Once I got it cleaned and prepped, I made an application of a clear oil sealer so that the colors would blend together, and over that we made 2 applications of basic coatings emulsion. It's a combination oil and water finish, and it does a beautiful job of looking like an oil-based finish. Here we are back at the entranceway. It was a damage before we did our work. We got it cleaned, prepped, added a little bit of oil sealer to it, and then 2 applications of emulsion, and it's good to go. I'm very happy with the results there. On the other side of the hallway, we had the same issue. This is the before. We got it all cleaned off, added a little bit of oil finish, again, to get the colors to blend a little bit more nicely, and then made the application of the emulsion. And here's the central hallway. It's ready for the pads and then the runners, and should be good to go for many, many years to come. I want to go back and give the friends of Bulloch a real shout out. They do great work in protecting Bulloch Hall and taking care of it and stewarding it into the future. If you'd like to learn more about them, this is their contact information. Just go to friendsofbullochhall.org. Got telephone number, email address, and if you want to get involved, I would strongly recommend doing it. Old houses need friends like that. Well, Jenna and I had a great time up in Roswell. We enjoyed the work, enjoyed the experience, and if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia, Roswell area, if you're in the state of Georgia, go see Bulloch Hall. It's well worth the time. Take care.